Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TrueSport.tv stop on the Bushveld tour, the third in the series here at beautiful Dainfern. The previous ones at Waterkloof Golf Club, and then also just up the road from there at Irene. Now, yesterday in the first round, it was a young man by the surname of Long, who does have a long game too, who shot a 68. He leads at 4 under par. Day 2 is ahead. Lots of birdies out there, and luckily on day 2, not half as much wind as what there was, curtailing the scores on day 1. This is Oliver Goldhill. Lovely weight transfer that time. It looks like Werner Deisel. Explaining what the wind was doing to that golf ball up there at the top. This is on the 6th. The long lanky limbs of Kurt Groenewald. Played well 2 weeks ago at Waterkloof, and here he is again. Level par for his round. Started off with birdie on the 2nd, but then unfortunately gave that shot back on the 5th. And that is a really good looking shot, even though he says it's so-so, it's average. Connor McKenzie. Looks like that was very solidly struck. It was indeed. Kept that down beautifully, and that's the right side to come in from there with all that water up the left. First time that we see Stuart Krog. Biggest win as the Zimbabwe amateur title on his resume. And represents a beautiful golf course up in that part of the world, Chapman Golf Club. Yeah, there's definitely some wind up there because both these players, both the swings we've seen so far, trying to keep the ball down and below the wind. Ooh, that's going to be ugly from there. Long way away from the flag. And this is Slade Pickering. Another man that we saw in action at Waterkloof, playing very well. Chasing the first prize check of 8,000 Rand here at Dainfern. Nice swing. Yes, Nicely done. Kruger here on the 6th. Tee box a good 20 odd meters above the green. So club selection here is vital. Always plays a tad shorter than the actual measurement. Solid, and you'll notice that Geertz was in right behind him very quickly to see what the wind was doing to that golf ball up in the sky. The 28-year-old from Rome. Let's see how he approaches this one. Middle of the green. Job done. And the second Italian here in the group. Interesting that neither Geertz nor Tricardo teed it up. Trying to keep it down. There's clearly wind up there, and if you take a look at the top of the trees on the left of your picture, you can tell that that is so. Tricardo thinks to himself, nah, that's not the right club, got to change it. He has. Holding it down, that curtailed follow through. So the wind definitely affecting things here, just like it did on day one. Jonathan Wilsenach back on the 4th. Playing virtually right from the back today, 185 meters. Six or a 7 iron here, depending on whether you want to hit it smoothly or give it a bit more if it's the shorter version. Ooh. Would have had his heart in his throat there for a while. Hendler. This is his home course, so he would have been thinking this is a golden opportunity. Unfortunately, battling with a little bit of food poisoning. But here he is out there on the golf course, trying to earn a living. You've got to lift your cap for that. Say well done. Not always easy to play when you're sick, although the old saying is beware of the sick golfer. Ho ho ho, that's why. Right at it. Ricky Hendler fired that. So the leaderboard tells you that young Mr. Long has picked up another shot already on the field, whereas McLaughlin, Goldhill and Geertz also picked up some shots. In fact, Geertz 3 under for his round. O'Leary teeing it up on the far left-hand side of the tee, so you know that he's trying to build that in high and drawing from the right. But didn't get the draw he was looking for. Gets bunkered. Oh, not a lot of space to work with either. It's about as good as he could do. You give him another 10 balls from there. Don't know if he'll get it much closer. Nicely done. Couldn't land it on the Kikuyu fringe, because the fringe can make it sit down completely, even though that is flowing away from the bunker. Ricardo. How nice to see the old Ben Hogan flat cap out. Started, unfortunately, with 2 drop shots in a row, first and second. And needs to try and repair that damage. Oh, he tried. He certainly gave it a go. Simon Kruger with his yellow in the lead in the Tour de France. Not here, though. Picked up a birdie on the second. So we're at 3 under par for the tournament. Desperate to try and move up and grab some more prize money. Just not starting that on quite the right line. So there it is then at 3 under par. Steady play, but it's not going to, at this stage, scare any of the leaders at the top. Ricardo finishes it off. And then gets 4 birdies in the first 5 holes. This is a momentum keeper. It certainly is, as he makes 3, gets the sandy, and nicely done. 4 under for the day and striding along nicely. Trying to put some pressure on the overnight leader, amateur Chris Long. Dylan O'Leary. Remember, he hit his bunker shot, I beg your pardon, his tee shot to here. Have to pick up the club very sharply and explode it into the back of the ball. Get some height on it. That lip is quite high. Work those wrists through the ball. Oh, that was so close. Perhaps got a little too much of it. Almost got lucky. Reminds me of the old master Bobby Locke, who was a great, great putter, hooked virtually everything, including his putts, and his favorite saying was, "Master, I almost missed that one, didn't I?" More than 100 different indigenous trees on the Dainfern Golf Estate. It's designed into 14 villages, and each one has its own unique charm. Obviously right in the middle here of Four Ways, and one of the reasons why the Four Ways area, the metropole of Four Ways, has exploded the way that it has, because Dainfern went up and so much else also started going up. Four Ways is a energetic and vigorous large precinct here in the north of Johannesburg. And this golf course and the resultant 1,200 homes that have gone up since the inception in 1992 has helped to develop this whole area. Monte Casino soon followed, and more people moved out this way. Jonathan Wilsenach. Another opportunity to pick one up on the rest of the field. Yes, sir. Well, got the train right back on the rails after that drop shot on the first, answering with 2 birdies in the next 3 holes. The lefty, Ricky Handler. Oh, he is so good with those. Saw him with that flat stick on the shorter ones, and he really does wield it well. Looks so confident on the shorter ones. It's normally the other way around. And then O'Leary. That is very well done. A good sand save when you really needed one. So this mini tour, there is an entry fee. All the entry fees are divvied in together, and then they work out the top 15 and prize money from there. The 4th hole, measuring 185 yards from where the tee markers are placed today. And that's where the green is. The whole complex, 31 meters long. Today just 8 from the right and 10 meters in from the front. McLaughlin steering this one down. Beautiful soft hands on the club. Coming off 2 birdies on the second and the third. He would have been wondering about that up in the sky, especially as if it's slightly downwind and a slight right to left wind, like it's just helping over the right shoulder. The amateur from Bryanston Country Club, Chris Long, the overnight leader. Kept the club in front of him very nicely with that swing, and looking at it and loving it, although it's long. From Chris's perspective in the sky, that would have looked phenomenal. Right over the flag. Goldhill now, one of the local players here at Dainfern. Also still an amateur, slight young man, but gives the ball an almighty whack. That'll do. Leaves himself with an uphill putt, albeit a long one. That looks like it's Delano Kortze. I beg your pardon, that is Slade Pickering. playing together with Connor McKenzie and Stuart Krog. McKenzie was 70 overnight. Had a birdie on the third. The sole birdie so far in his round. Plays out of Rand Park Golf Club. Certainly one of the most beautiful layouts in this side of Johannesburg. Those two golf courses. The Zimbabwean Stuart Krog. That looks like it was virtually spot on where he wanted it. Have a little bit of work there. Let's take a look at the sixth. And as we were saying to you earlier, the green a good 20 meters below you from the tee, especially from the back. Cloverleaf shaped green, typical of Gary Player's designs, together with Phil Jacobs in this particular case. That large gully on your right hand side as you look at the flag now. Surprisingly enough, the 17th most difficult hole on the golf course, so not a difficult hole at all as far as the club golfers are concerned. Chris Long now stretched his lead to 1. Solid start. Goldhill running it up the hill. Oh, that caught a huge part of the hole. He would feel a little hard done by. Former club champion here at Dainfern, Goldhill. McLaughlin now. Looking for his third birdie in a row. Good roll, and in she goes. What a start from him, and he takes the lead. At 6 under par. That is a real confidence booster. Goldhill finishes up his efforts on the 6th. I beg your pardon, on the 4th, and off he goes to the 5th tee. Lovely to see the lads discussing the way the land lies. Here's Pickering on the 6th. Look at the amount of uphill work that needs to be done here. Luckily, you are able to control the ball so much better from the fringes here. On the uphill. Can manage the spin a little better too. Got it running fairly quickly. Oh, it's got away from him. Wonder if he just hit that a little thin. Pickering at the moment, finding himself in 5th place. Now Connor McKenzie. Repairing 1 or 2 pitch marks there, and that is so important. If you are watching this and you're a club golfer, that's something that we could all do a little better. Make sure that we leave the greens the way that we found them. So then, Krog. Needing a little bit of flat stick work here. Remonstrating with himself. It was a good stroke though. Very up and down for him. A horrible 8 on the second. Bounces straight back with a birdie and then gives one back yet again. Ah, this game. It's enough to drive you completely batty. Slade Pickering. Pickering started at 2 under. And that's where he still is. And Connor McKenzie. Beautiful day in Prospect. A high of 28 predicted for this part of the world. Started off at a very balmy 19 this morning. And it's a gorgeous day for golf. So 1 under par for his first 6 holes. And a relatively solid start. So the golf course and the complex started in the late 60s as the Four Ways golf course, and there was virtually nothing around it then. Was lucky enough to play it in the late 70s and the early 80s here, and there was a small hut that was the clubhouse, believe it or not. Now look at it. 1,200 homes and a championship golf course, who in the year 2021 on the Sunshine Tour presented the Players' Championship as well as the Stella Artois Championship, both of them decided by playoffs. Volsenach. The winner of the Golf RSA Gowrie Farm Championship. Here's a man who has really had an exceptional year. You don't often win 8 times in a year, but that's what he's done. Battling food poisoning. Looked like he's pleased with that one. And why not? 32-year-old Dylan O'Leary, who plays out of the golf course that borders right onto this one, the lovely Jack Nicklaus designed Stain City. Oh, that right hand came right off the club. Lost a little bit of control of that on the downswing and the transition. Those are the sorts of swings that make you start doubting yourself. Par 3s here are tricky. There's no doubt about that. We spoke about those Players' Championships and as well as the Stella Artois Championships. At 25 under par, it was Jaco Prinsloo, Jaco Roos and Daniel van Tonder who played off for the Players' Championship title on the Sunshine Tour last year, and Jaco Prinsloo eventually prevailed. All three of them got it up to minus 25 in the end. They really had a lot of birdies out there in the 4 days of play. Oh, he's run that by a little bit. Not too serious. And then in the Stella Artois Championships, Jaco Alish and Okkie Strydom tied on 18 under par. And Jaco Alish winning that one. So the 3-ball of O'Leary, Hendler and Wilsenach going along nicely. Hendler looked distinctly white under the gills. Oh my word, he'll look even whiter now, because that was right in the middle of the hole. How did that manage to wiggle out? If he was feeling sick, he'd be feeling even more sick now. Yeah. He can only but laugh, as we can. You can just shake your head at this game sometimes and say, how? It defies all logic at times. Young Wilsenach. Only one light for the day so far. Would like to pick up a few more. Yes, sir. Nicely done. No fireworks yet, but steady as she goes. O'Leary level par for his first 5. Hands very, very low, close to his body, and it works. Still at 2 under par, and 12 holes of battle left. Can he muster a move of some sort? The 10th hole, the par 4. Shortish, but it's all about the tee shot. Dog legs away to the right-hand side, and the Yuxke in play on the tee shot. Luckily not that much on your second. Here we are at the 7th, a par 4. Long one up the hill. Tricky drive from all the way up there. That's a good 50 meters above the fairway. And then you play up to the green. That slopes severely from the back to the front. Oh, certainly scared the hole that time. Slade Pickering. Just 24 years old. And a rock solid par 4 there. But interesting that he chose to chip that one. Probably didn't have the greatest lie. So still McLaughlin leads by 1 from long and gets at 5 under par. Goldhill is at 4 under, and then 3 players grouped at 3 under par. 3 off the lead. Connor McKenzie, long putt up the hill. And then Stuart Krog, 26 years old, and says this, the flat stick, is the best part of his game. Let's see if he can prove it. Well, his playing partner underread it and he overread it. Still battling to come to terms with that triple bogey on the second. That would have halted anyone's momentum. And not much work here left for Mackenzie. Chris Long with a smile on his face. That's the way to play if you're in the lead. Very narrow stance, short iron in hand. That's cutting. So when the Dainfern Estate was first developed, it was certainly recognized that the area had some very unique biosphere as well that should be preserved and looked after. And the site was carefully environmentally surveyed when the golf course was developed. And these special areas have been preserved and designated on the estate plan too. There is even a Dainfern Nature Association. Yeah, you worked it out. The abbreviation is DNA, and so it should be. And they do a wonderful job of looking after all the different biospheres here. Nature-sensitive areas right throughout the whole estate. The only nature that these boys would want to experience is a tough, hard, uncompromising nature on the golf course. Didn't look like he was all that happy with it, but it's not too bad. McLaughlin, the Order of Merit leader. Tall, gangly young man. It's an educated takeaway. I think he's come over that a little bit though. Oh, it seems fine. Dainfern Golf Estate from the sky, and we're heading to the halfway mark of the second and final round of the TrueSport.tv series, and this is the third of the tournaments brought to you by TrueSport on the Bushveld Tour. Success for the players at Waterkloof as well as Irene, and now all up for grabs here at Dainfern Golf Estate. So you have to grab top 15 here to make a check of any sort. First prize of 8,000 Rand. Second is almost 50% less at 4,500. Third place goes down to 3,500. And these young pros all enter with their money, and then they club it all together, and it is worked out. The prize purse would be 40,600 Rand in this particular week. Goldhill probably didn't strike that quite the way that he wanted to. Severe slope on this green from front to back. And a lot of these greens, believe it or not, on this Parkland golf course are a little reminiscent of links greens, which again is a typical Gary Player design mark of his. Chris Long. He had such a good look at birdie there, but couldn't quite convert. Smallest little tiddler left. And at 6 under par, going well. Now we could tell by the way he told the putter he thought that was a great opportunity to pick up one more and lead by one. But not to be. McLaughlin. He would also have thought that that is definitely makeable. No problems there for Goldhill. His problem, though, is that he needs some birdies. He needs to try and pick up one or two and start putting a bit of pressure on the leaders, which he's not doing at this stage. Opened with a 69, but needs to give it more. McLaughlin. Plays out of Silver Lakes, another golf course with a massive amount of water, so Dainfern won't be worrying him at all. Dylan O'Leary, look at how quickly the Ixka is flowing with all the rainwater that's coming down from upcountry. Stay down through that shot. Such a tough second shot. That's beautifully done from there. Club selection here is vital on this approach shot. Where that flag is there, you can just see it from the left-hand side of the fairway. If you've left yourself on the right-hand side of the fairway as you approach, you can't see the flag, and that's always just a little disconcerting, even for the best players in the world. Hendler. He'd be happy with that. That leaves him an uphill opportunity for a birdie. And then Volsenach, who is 1 under for his round. 3 under for the tournament. That very short follow through. Got a lot of spin on that. Came down from very high and sat down like a butterfly with sunburnt feet. That is a very makeable birdie putt. The wildlife on the sprawling estate includes the lesser bush baby, hedgehogs. See some massive bullfrogs here, you'll hear them too. The black-backed jackal, lizards, porcupines, mongoose, and then the most fearsome for me in any case, and I've seen a few big ones around this part of the world, the water monitor, or as we'd say in Africa, the leguan. And there are some really big and scary ones here. Love to live under the bridges, such as the one we see right there where the golf cart is parked at the moment. Those leguans or monitors can lay up to about 40 eggs, normally in active termite mounds, and then the eggs are incubated at a constant temperature. It's a miraculous thing to see and experience. Hendler. Very interesting tendency that he has with the longer putts. He does not hold back. He charges them. Probably because he's so comfortable with the short putts. Never looks like he takes strain with those. Confident young man, but battling with the illness that he's experiencing at the moment, food poisoning. Reminiscent of the 2 United Rugby Championship teams who were here to play in South Africa but called it a day because of the same malady. O'Leary. Oh, call the police. You were robbed, son. The cellophane cup got him. Very solid par 4 though, and any time that you get a par on this hole, you grit your teeth, go to the next tee, and you go, thank goodness that's over. It's a tough par 4. Volsenach. Not quite enough. Still, 1 under. He's there or thereabouts. If he can muster a very good back 9, who knows? But needs to start the move. Young man who hails from Florida. Not the one in Rudderport, the one in the US. And would be unhappy with that. That's a drop shot at the worst possible time. He's now 1 over for his first 7 holes. And the reason that I keep raving about the fact that the 7th is so tough, it is stroke 1 for the club golfers here. And most people would say that this is probably the toughest hole on the golf course. Slade Pickering. Oh, that's beautifully done. Always difficult. He was luckily had a flat lie there, but it slopes, green slopes away from you. Sat down beautifully into the sand, and then got the ball to do the same thing. There's another lesson for our young golfers who are watching. Please leave the bunkers exactly the way that you got them. Stuart Krog, who looks like he's hit one in the water here. So the Zimbabwean will be unhappy with that. Oh, that looks like trouble as well. Did that hold on there, or did it take more of the slope and trickle down even further? A 20-year-old amateur from Rand Park, Connor McKenzie. That's a lovely stroke. All the way down the hill and all the way into. Would feel like he got away with one there. Look at those beautiful rocks dotting the Yukskay River. Pickering looking for his second birdie of the day here on the 8th. Stands nice and still, and that certainly eases the pain of that drop shot on the 6th. So Krog still has some work to do. It looks like it held on, which is good news for him. And again, we remind you that there was placing for both days, which makes it a lot easier if you are on the short stuff. So lift clean and place within a club length, which all helps in the end. Krog has had such a mixed bag after a solid opening round of 70. A triple drop on the 2nd, birdie on the 3rd, drop on the 4th. 3 pars in a row, and now more drama for him here on the 8th. Yeah, that rather testy walk to the hole tells you it's a double. Steam coming out of his ears. Overnight leader Chris Long. This fairway slopes, ball below his feet. Gripping the club down though, that's only a wedge in his hand. You've got to stay with the ball all the way through and commit. Beautiful shot from back there. 22-year-old Goldhill. Maybe got a bit of a flyer out of there. Off the fairway in the Kikuyu grass, if it gets trapped in the grooves, that's all the spin gone, and it's guaranteed to go an extra 8 yards further at the very least. Already a winner on the Bushveld Tour, McLaughlin. Or an Order of Merit leader. Can he put more pressure on Chris Long? From the middle of the fairway on the tough 7th, up the hill. Oh, doesn't like it. Well, it managed to hold on. A little slaffy, but it will do. So, it's Long at 6 under par. Still in the lead, together with Keegan McLaughlin, and then Goldhill and Gertz trying to put pressure on. Can they? One of the other features, of course, of the Dainfern Golf Estate is it provides a secure environment for its residents, and no fear of crime here. It's an all-inclusive lifestyle, and of course, a few years ago, the Dainfern College, which opened on the other side, on the main gate, that side of the estate. So if you look at it from the clubhouse here on your left, about a kilometer up the hill to your left-hand side is the second gate, and there is the Dainfern College, and it's a beautiful layout with some wonderful work done there by teachers and by the learners. In fact, one of the pace-setting schools in this part of the world. Massive amounts of recreation here too. There's the United Football Club, the Dainfern United Football Club, swimming pools, there's tennis, there's squash, and on top of it all, some medical facilities very close by to Dainfern as well. Nature trails for every particular appetite. Olivia's Walk, Rocky Ridge, the Combreton Trail, Casuarina Lane Walk, and the wetland and grassland area, which also is delightful if you're a nature lover. Here's the 11th, another one of the long par 3s. Pictures brought to you courtesy of TrueSport.tv here on the Bushveld Tour. I'm Arnold Getz. If you've perhaps just joined us, hello and welcome. Where have you been? Good to have your company. Hope you stay with us for the rest of the afternoon as we bring you the live action on the back 9 of the third and final tournament in this swing for the Bushveld Tour at the Dainfern Golf Estate. Course record here held by Jaco van Zyl, who shot a magnificent 61 way back in May of 2012. Great round of golf by one of our great competitors on the Sunshine Tour. This is the first time that we see Jason Roots in action. He first played in a PGA Tour event at the age of 17. It's an educated swing if ever you've seen one from the 29-year-old. Good shot. First time too that we visit with Drickus Joubert. He opened with a level par 72 and plays from upcountry in Hoedspruit. Short curtailed swing. Tried to hold that down. Doesn't look like he's done it. Wasn't happy with that swing at all. And then Delano Kotze, another one of the men who played relatively well in Waterkloof. He too opened with a level par effort of 72. That ball wasn't long on the club face before it sped forward. It's a beautiful strike. Rhythmical swing from the big man. Chris Long still setting the pace. Love his mini CV. When he was asked what the best parts of his game are, he said driving, chipping and putting. I think that covers just about everything, Chris. Lots of looking and making sure here that they've got the lines correctly and that they committed to it. Did Goldhill commit to the stroke? Oh, with its last iota of energy that goes down to the darkness. Goldhill 2 under for his first 7 holes. Well, you may raise your hand, son. Good stuff. Lives not too far away from here, so knows this golf course intimately. Still an amateur, of course. That's Goldhill. Here's McLaughlin, though. He's rushed it. Gave that way too much. That needed to hit the back of the hole absolutely squarely, and it didn't. Luckily, not too much damage done. Now Long. Hit a lovely approach shot to here. Great opportunity to stretch the lead again. Never had the line. Always offline. And unfortunately there was a wonderful chance for him to perhaps pick up one more. And he knows it. So McLaughlin gives one back after making 3 in a row. And then to the 9th. I beg your pardon, the 9th hole. Oh, my word. That would have looked so good in the air, but that caught a heck of a lot of the hole. In fact, I would suggest that that caught the top of the rim of the hole. There you go. They have to repair that back to its original state. That would have taken a big chunk out of the hole, perhaps. And lucky and yet unlucky. Who knows where that would have bounded through to if it had missed the hole. This is the only hole that was virtually left untouched by Mez's Player and Jacobs when they redesigned the golf course in the 90s. In fact, 1990 to be precise. And this is the hole that crosses the Yuxka River twice. Those egrets in the back there. Bird life here is absolutely prolific, and more than 120 different bird species that has been seen here at Dainfern over all the years. They're all logged, of course, in a beautiful little booklet, which is produced by the Dainfern Nature Association. If you are a birder, they've listed, since they first started keeping records, 211 different species. Left that above the hole, but that's not a bad thing. He really wields and handles that putter with aplomb. Elects not to hole out. Doesn't want to stand on any of his playing partner's lines. So long. Still with that one shot lead. Wilsonach, can he creep one further up? Oh, so very close for the eagle. My, what a try that was. Still, rock solid birdie 4. And that takes him to 4 under for the day when he cleans that up.